this part of the space with Mams and Wade and Keem, they were talking about Blueface for a little bit, and I thought he was banned off the zone, but I did see on Fred Talks Fight an interview with Keem that Blueface might not be banned. So we might see him on Misfits in the near future. And they were talking about how Blueface could add a lot to the influencer boxing community. And I agree. Blueface got a lot of clout. What they need, because whenever they do shows in America, it don't sell out. What they need, because I know for a fact they can't get the Kais, they can't get the Speeds, they can't get the Gideons, like they can't get them. That's what this space needs though. But since you can't get those type of people, because obviously those big famous people like Speed, Kai and Gideon, they don't need boxing. Like they don't need the money they get from it. They don't gain as much than what they would lose. Like they would lose so much time from streaming, which is making them a lot of money because they would be focusing on boxing. And they don't need to do that. They don't need to sacrifice streaming for influencer boxing. So that's why they're not doing it. In my opinion, that's why they haven't joined. So they need to get the next best thing for an American crowd, which is Blueface. Krishawn. Obviously, Krishawn is pregnant. So obviously when she gives birth, maybe she can join. I think she'd be great. But like Blueface, you should get him on Misfits because he brings in the whole shade room, urban black community. And we are interested. I'm saying we like I'm American. But like that sort of community is interested in watching Blueface fight. They like watching fights. So they need all them American black children, the urban community to come and watch Misfits. That's the community I feel like they're missing. They got that community when they brought Tennessee Fresh and Paigey Cakey on the last Misfits event with Joe Fournier. Because that brought the black British community. That brought the Shade Borough. That brought my community, the black British ones. But black Americans, I feel like they haven't nailed it. And that's the sort of crowd you need. You need that audience. And Blueface would bring it. So I 100% think that and agree with them and saying that they should bring Blueface into Misfits because he'll bring that black American community or African American community. So yeah, I agree with that. And then they also talk about piracy and like Stream East and all these streaming people. And I thought it was a very interesting conversation because I didn't know that it was such a big problem. But I'm not gonna lie, it's very easy to find like these streaming sites. Like every time when I go on Twitter and I type in, because I'm trying to read live tweets about the fights, I type in the name of the fight. It's like the first thing, like that's all I see is streaming. It's so easy. I'm not even looking for it, but I'm seeing it. So it is a big issue. And I thought their conversation about how they would try to stop it is quite interesting. It seemed like it was kind of impossible, but it was still a very interesting conversation.
It's a fight.
Blueface did pull, I mean, I don't know what pay-per-view.
Blueface does numbers.
But he pulled the best numbers on the pre-fight socials at Kingpin. I know that.
Yeah, because he's got a completely different audience and eyeballs that come to the table too.
And he brings Krishan Rock's audience, and that's a very interesting group of people.
Yeah, she's going to be Ring Girl.
Ring Girl? Put her in a ring with another girl and let them fight. That's what you need.
I wouldn't fight her.
No, you guys are all talking about Shoddy. No, or Sweetie, excuse me. You need Christine.
Shoddy said.
I mean, you could argue that Blueface is probably like.
Shoddy.
You could argue that Blueface is probably like right under KSI, Logan, and Jake in popularity, right? Like I'd probably put him like right under those three, honestly.
Can you imagine Wade making that comment about Christine?
That would be a completely different comment I'd make, but
100%, my guy.
No, I think Slim, or I think Blueface is probably like world renowned name, but I don't know if he sells anywhere close to those three.
No, well, we know he doesn't because he was the pay-per-view, but yeah. he still does.
But he's a name.
Yeah, he's a name, and he's gonna bring impressions, and he's got a value.
That's what I'm saying. You need the internet at least. Like, look. If someone can't sell pay-per-views, at least be someone that the internet cares about. That's gonna trend. Like that. Like the prelims with Korn. Like that was insane. Like that went everywhere.
If people didn't steal pay-per-view, then everyone would get a lot more money. I can guarantee you that. but it's actually the piracy is nuts. It was nuts for Kingpin. It was nuts for. It's been nuts for all Misfits
It's
events.
impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. You don't.
Mams, do you know that like I don't do this, but my friend showed me it. If you literally like during like basically any boxing or MMA fight, if you just go on Google and just type in the fight, like one of the first 3 links, you could just watch it for free. Like just type it on Google. It's insane.
Yeah,
There's like
man.
no blocks or
I'll
anything.
I'll send you like the 3 names.
TikTok is the
You can
worst.
sue them. I'll just say to them, I'll be a snitch. Fanboys, you should sue them. They stream all your fights. Watch pro wrestling. They stream all your fights. I'm gonna just be a snitch. You know, hey, because we fuck with Misfits. Just sue them.
Hey Wayne, question: how you know that?
Uh,
Because he
Kingpin.
never has
That's where
paid
he
for a
gets his
pay-per-view in
fights.
his life.
What the heck, Wayne?
Because I didn't buy Kingpin.
Dude,
Well,
there
Wait, so
has
you
to be
know,
some
wait, you
type of
know these illegal things exist, but you do it for free? I mean, you still pay for it? That's a good shit on you,
No,
man.
I pay
Right.
for Jake Paul fights, and I only pay for KSI fights.
there has to be some type of action taken against TikTok. TikTok is the biggest violator of these events. Any event that's a pay-per-view, if you go to TikTok and you go to streams, it's being streamed to like millions of people for free. It's all on TikTok. That is
You
the
can't
number
touch
one
him though, Keem.
place.
You can't touch him, man.
There's got to be something someone can do.
If it's not one person, it's another one. Individuals, you'll never stop it.
I'll gladly sue them for you. 'Cause, we support.
Wouldn't you think that a strategy could potentially be more like make more of the fights
Yep.
free, but then just boost sales through advertising?
Yep.
Like
That's the only thing I can think of.
views, but then you get way more advertising and sponsors. I think that's the best way to do it because no matter what, like every time you have a fight, at least now, the majority of people are watching it illegally. There's way more people watching it illegally than there are people watching it legally, and that's a huge fucking problem.
You
That's a
should
fact.
still be able to boost up those advertisers right now, knowing that these events are being seen by millions of people for free.
There's look, you can't rely on people to necessarily make the right moral choice with this because they all think they all even though like you every person on that card, every person, every referee, every announcer, everyone who makes these cards possible, everyone, the commentators, everyone, they deserve good pay and they would get more pay. But I feel like, and if some people think they would deserve more pay, um ultimately it's people are stealing money out of their pockets. It's not just it's not just the top dogs that are making the money. Everyone would make more money if there was more money available. That's just the way it would go. So it's you can't rely on people to morally make that decision and say fuck it, I feel bad, I'm stealing from people. It's like become an acceptable way to steal, which sucks. So the only thing you can do is try and motivate people to buy it by bringing a fan experience, which is what we're working on, where you have to be a part of it, you want to be a part of it. And if you're not a part of buying the pay-per-view, you miss out on certain elements. So that's basically what we're doing.
And then
I
you
think,
can go to jail if you use legal streams. Like to all the idiots that's doing that shit, you're fucking dumbass. If you
yeah,
know
but you
what?
know what the chance of you going to jail for watching a stream is?
What's up, my guy? Hey, if you stream KSI versus Tommy Free, I'm gonna sue you. Because that's a big fight.
You know, another problem now is there's actually there's like Discord servers. I won't say obviously which one, but like there's Discord
Boy,
servers with
y'all
hundreds
are
of thousands of
snitching,
members.
boy. My
Oh, we
Look at
we
you, Jay.
goodness.
Don't out
That's
yourself, Jay. Don't out
Bro,
crazy.
yourself now.
hey,
You got the
hey,
head
bro, Jay's like, yo,
Nah,
drop in that
That's
message,
not
man.
cause
fucked
Hey,
cause
up.
Pack,
That's
cause
man,
I
one
know
of
outrageous.
your
I know for sure Pack has been in the Discord watching some of these fights, and this nigga
Whoa, now you
I
out
Hey,
know
yourself
hey,
for
hey,
too.
sure.
whoa,
Niches get
whoa.
stitches, fam. What the?
You can go to jail.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Keem. I watched Across the Spider-Verse on TikTok. I ain't even gonna say anything, bro. TikTok, you can watch anything.
All right, lock him up. Lock
Jay,
him
you're
up.
narking on yourself
Lock them up,
again, bro.
bro.
It's
I'm
on.
not gonna lie,
This is
bro. I'm not
recorded,
gonna
dog.
lie.
so.
Listen.
Hey, all the clowns in here, buy KSI versus Tommy Free. If you stream it,
Is it an
I'm gonna
actual
block
crime
you.
though? Like if you pirate a pay-per-view, is
Yes, it
that a
is.
crime?
Yes,
Yeah, it's just you can't like.
Like criminal?
Yeah. I think
yes.
a felony charge too.
You're stealing
Yeah.
money from Mams Taylor. That's a
Well, you know
crime.
what I don't understand though? Can someone help me understand this? How are there just big websites, that just do every fight, like, and they just still stay like for years? Like
Because it's
I
easier for
know
someone
of
to do it.
websites that just stay and never go.
Because I think it's a plugin where like the individual has a plugin. It's not necessarily incumbent upon the site. I think like you could shut down the site. They could just the URL could change and have the same site layout. You know what I mean?
I've been seeing Stream East for years. Like Stream East has not moved. I'll be real.
You know
Please
who's
stop
Clown, stop
snitching on
promoting
websites.
you clown.
He
You-
said the site again. Crazy.
Stop promoting it. Hey, yo.
Imagine though, Keem. Imagine if it was like more of like you guys ran it more of like a live stream, almost like more like a Twitch stream, and you
Dog,
had
I'm
like
saying.
one giant stream with a giant chat. People can donate. People can subscribe.
Saying.
If you donate $10,000, you get your shit read out in front of everybody. Like I feel like that's that's the future of this shit.
I personally like I personally like the free model way better. The problem is where does the money come from? Because now
These
your
events are
boss,
so expensive to put on.
Yeah,
now
they're
your
not.
You have
boss
to get a big
is
yeah. You have to get a
fucking
big player.
advertisers, and then they start coming down, and advertisers are like, "Well, we don't really like how Dylan Dennis is poking fun at Logan Paul's girlfriend. Maybe you shouldn't do that." And like, you don't want them in charge, like.
Yeah.
Well, those advertisers cost us Alex Stein versus Modine.
Yo,
What
man.
do we
Yeah,
think?
that was
What do we
prime.
think about? What do we think about Dylan Dennis's promotional tactics?
It's beautiful.
Sheesh.
Dude, he needs to go in on. Dude, Logan Paul's like been weird as fuck lately. Did you guys
It's
see
a
that fight
fight
with
game
Logan
at
and
the end of
Jake?
the day,
That fight
so.
between Logan and Jake over the Prime bottle.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Dylan?
I think they both had solid points. To be honest,
No,
with you.
bro, man.
Logan
How
did
do you
not
look
have any
at Logan's
solid
Nah,
points?
they both
man.
had solid points. Don't do that. Don't dick.
No, I'm gonna be honest. Just hear me
Logan
out for
did
a second,
not have
okay?
solid points.
He
I have
definitely
no bias
did.
towards Logan or Jake,
I
but
would
Logan's
love to
point
hear
made
those
no
solid
fucking
points.
sense at all.
Which part,
Logan's point made
Guys,
no sense.
Okay,
guys,
okay.
I will give you the
Logan-
points about Jake
Logan-
not showing or not promoting the
Oh,
Prime
that
card.
that was very justified. That part was
I
very
said that's what I'm saying.
justified.
I will give you
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
I do think
But it
should,
wasn't
like, if,
Jake. It wasn't Jake, guys. It wasn't Jake.
I know.
It was Nikisa. And
But
Jake,
and again,
Jake is being
Dun, dun,
loyal.
dun.
Like, honestly, Jake is being loyal to him, and I respect loyalty. And I have to say, he's quite. On that podcast, at certain points, he was quite likable, but not to me, but but what he said, but what they did was despicable. It was stupid. It was like, come on, don't be so petty. And at the end of the day, it's so easy. If what's it called, Celsius or whatever it is, if they said, hey, we have a big problem. I know this space, by the way. That shit doesn't happen. Doing a trailer that says the Prime card on it, you wouldn't hear from them saying, oh my god, we're so pissed. Logan wearing his Prime chain, they wouldn't be like, oh, why is he wearing his Prime chain? That's disrespectful. No one cares. Nikisa took that on and just said, absolutely no Prime. And if it really was a legitimate problem, no problem. Blur out Prime and just put KSI and Tommy and Logan is fighting on this card, and just do a little commercial, do a little trailer.
They should have. They should have aired an ad that said Misfits 09 or Misfits or sorry X Series 09, X Series 10. We've got whatever it is, whatever the card's going to be. We've got KSI versus Tommy, and Jake's brother Logan is also fighting.
I disagree.
At the time, there's no opponent.
I disagree. I am so fucking glad that Misfits 10 was not promoted on Jake Paul's event, because when the numbers come back and they're higher than Jake versus Nate, there's going to be no fucking excuses. That just takes
if
one of.
only it cost us $60, then we can say that he did more than Jake.
It's going to cost
$20,
$60. It should. I don't know if it's going to cost $60, but it should cost $60 because this card is that big.
I think it's going to be very.
Every single day, there's a brand new story about Misfits 10. Every single day, and it's going to be like this all the way until October. This reminds me, and I was telling Mams earlier, this reminds me of Misfits 1. Do you guys remember that? Like months before Misfits 1, every single day there was a new story, and it was just hype, hype, hype. I'm telling you, this is the Super Bowl of influencer boxing. If this somehow isn't bigger than Nate versus Jake, then some numbers are fake. Someone's giving you fake numbers.
You got to also, just for context, and I was going to ask Mam about this too. ESPN is involved in that card. That's a major player here in the Prime thing. That's what I think.
No,
it's about petty.
It's about JJ. It's about me. It's not. And
that's
also,
what I'm saying. Being associated with you two.
Yeah,
It's
because
probably still about Alyssa Violet, Wade. You have no idea the roots.
yeah,
Jesus, we're going
no.
that
But
far.
by the way, guys, like honestly, I'm gonna get slammed for this from what I'm hearing on this space. But Logan is, as a person, very intelligent, very introspective, very good dude. Like just speaking to him, and there was when there's been a sticky situation, he's handled it like with absolute class. Like I've seen him handle situations where you're like, oh shit, if I was this guy, maybe I'd get way more pissed off. But he keeps his calm, and he's introspective and tries to look at the other person's perspective. So I can't say a bad word, but I do think that podcast was very, it was great entertainment for everyone to see. But as brothers, obviously, even with my older brother, 10 years older than me, we've had moments when I was in my 20s when we had to have those come to Jesus moments and go through shit. Like I was like, you used to beat the shit out of me, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. You've got to, there's the family trauma bonds, they exist, and they're there. So it's, I guess, you don't want to hash it out on the show necessarily, and I'm sure they'll have deeper conversations. But I think if anything, that is the start of making them even closer in the long run.
They probably learned it from Deji and KSI.
Dude,
Yeah,
I turned on that
everyone's been through
Jake
that.
Paul Netflix series or whatever, and I was like skimming through, and all of a sudden they were talking about like Greg Paul beating Jake Paul or some shit. Like they were, I'm serious, by the way, that's not a joke. They were
Yep.
like talking about Greg like beating Jake, and it carried trauma into his box. Is that real? Like, why is that in the documentary?
Well,
Who's putting that in there?
well, I
think it
do know that
motivated him.
it seems like every time Jake or Logan like are doing some sort of long form content or whatever, Pam never gets any of it. It's all Greg who gets the
It's all
fucking.
Greg. It's like,
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
I'm a pro boxer now. I'm fighting some of the toughest fighters in the world, but it all stems from Greg Paul beating my ass when I was a little kid. Like, what the fuck is that? What am I watching?
Now,
Hey,
to be
Mams.
fair,
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a, good stipulation you guys can add for the Logan Dylan fight if it happens. What if you guys did? Whoever lost had to pay back all the victims of the other person's crypto scam.
Oh, why you gotta say that, bro? I
well
made him.
then, like Logan would be there'd be much more jeopardy for Logan because who's buying crypto off of Dylan Dennis?
17 people around the
Yeah.
numbers.
Hey, yo, Pat God, you're a clown for saying that, bro. You're making Mamsilla uncomfortable. You
Now
fucking
look,
clown.
though,
Hey,
guys.
fuck it.
There's
I'm
more
gonna
there's
play.
more
Hey
to
man, let me
these
ask you a
things than
question. Hold on,
people
hold
Yeah,
on,
know
hold on, hold on.
yeah,
sometimes. That's
yeah.
I
all.
gotta ask something.
All right, yo,
Hey, yo,
VVS has a question for Mams. Go ahead.
so why we out here acting like Jake Paul is doing all these pay-per-views
Get the fuck
when
out of
he's
here,
out
bro.
here fighting motherfuckers like Tyron Woodley, Anderson
Get the fuck out
Silva?
of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Wait, let
No,
him talk. Let him talk.
bro, he was disrespecting my guy.
I
Wayne
know,
did
but
kick him, and I do think that
Jeez.
yeah,
that's
that's
ruthless.
harsh.
But what I
Let
wanted to
him.
get into here was like you talk about the trauma bonds and how they can have these conversations. I think what we need here right now is
Okay.
is
Oh,
Hey,
is
don't.
hey, yo,
Mams be honest with Wayne about your
Here
Donna,
we
feelings.
Donna.
go.
All right, go VVS. Go ahead, sir.
Wayne, bro, you
The
gotta let
soccer
me
kid.
speak, bro.
All right, my guy. I apologize, sir. Go ahead.
Go
All right,
ahead.
my bad. So I'm just saying we can't be out here letting Jake Paul get away with taking credit for these pay-per-view sales when Nate Diaz and all these big stars from the UFC are carrying the fuck out of him,
Well,
not only in pay-per-view sales but also in ticket sales because he's getting booed the fuck out of him in that fucking event.
okay. So that's a really interesting point. I don't think, and no disrespect to the others, I don't think that the previous fighters he fought can take as much credit as Jake. But with Nate, definitely he brought some numbers. He brought
For
some big.
sure.
I'd say maybe the majority, but also it's not just, it's that fight that people became interested. Can this guy beat him? Can the interest that's generated from that? And a lot of people outside of our little universe here, they thought Nate would beat Jake because they haven't followed Jake the same way.